All right, so this U.S. Constitution booklet project will be completed to teach students about the U.S. Constitution after they've already learned about the Declaration of Independence and the Articles of Confederation. So they'll get a basic understanding of the U.S. Constitution by creating a visual aid, whether that's a paper version of a booklet or a digital or electronic version of the booklet. This will be to help students not only learn it themselves, but also to help others outside the classroom learn about the Constitution or get a basic understanding of the Constitution, as these projects will be displayed outside of the classroom for others to view. So each student or group, depending on which version of the project you want to do, an individual version or a group version, each student or group will create their own booklet to, like I said, teach themselves and others about the Constitution. Each booklet will contain the preamble, all 7 articles, as well as required amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Each group or each student will be required to make a display or an image for each amendment in the Bill of Rights, so the first 10 amendments, and 10 additional amendments of their choosing after the Bill of Rights. So there'll be 29 pages total in this booklet, 29 slides, pages, whatever, if there's a digital version. If they do the paper version, the drawings must be original. They'll have to come up with their own summary of what each drawing represents. As I said, if they do an electronic version, or if they choose not to do the paper version, they can do an electronic version using PowerPoint, Slides, Prezi, Canva, other digital tools that the teacher approves. For me, this project counts as 2 test grades for students. Students aren't graded on whether or not they are artists. I don't expect anyone to be artists, but they'll be graded instead on effort, creativity, correctness, obviously, and following directions. So each booklet's got to have a cover page or a title page, cover sheet, whichever version they decide to go with. Preferably this will include some sort of imagery to do with patriotism, the Constitution, etc., etc. Then we'll have a page or a slide for the preamble. What I expect here is 2 versions of the preamble. A version where it's the actual original language of the preamble as seen in the U.S. Constitution, and then that preamble translated into the students' own words, so we can get a basic understanding of what the preamble actually says, because as we know, no one speaks like that anymore. After that, drawings or images representing all 7 articles, all 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights, and all 10 of the other amendments that the students choose. A total of 27 drawings to go along with the 29 pages of the booklet. Each drawing is going to have a brief summary, a title, so Amendment 1, saying what that one represents. So example here, Amendment 1, freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition. Students can get creative there if they want. In addition to that, what I expect out of students is they give a brief explanation, 1, 2, 3 sentences at the most, as to why that article or amendment was written or was added to the Constitution. Specifically, what I'm looking for here is how does that article or amendment address a grievance in the Declaration of Independence? All articles and amendments have to be in proper order, obviously. And then I want to see Roman numerals here. So if students aren't sure of the Roman numerals, this might be a little small, simple teaching opportunity for teachers. So Article 1, Article 2, etc. With Roman numerals. I want to see all articles done in their own section and then amendments in the other. If students decide to add a title slide or a subtitle slide or a subtitle page here, that's up to them. They're not going to get any extra points for extra pages. Work's got to be complete. I expect quality. I'm going to be able to see effort. Again, I'm not grading here for artistic ability, but effort will be graded. Obviously, there's points docked for each day late in my classroom. I don't see any stick figures, anything like that. We're not 3-year-olds. If there's students are working in groups for this, obviously they should figure out who's the most artistic in the group if they're going to be drawing people or more complicated drawings. For this project, for the paper version, I provide 8.5 by 11 copy paper for it. Only one side of the paper can be used, hence the 29 pages. Obviously, if they're doing a digital version or electronic version, that's not going to be required. If they're doing paper versions, every picture has to be hand-drawn. I do allow some tracing. Everything's got to be colored, neat, presentable. I'm not printing anything out and pasting anything on the pages for this. Again, everything's got to be in correct order. For extra credit, I get the students to bring their books to life. if they didn't do an electronic version, or they can add a link to this in their electronic version. They can make a 3 to 5 minute PSA about the Constitution. They can come up with their own song or rap, or they can do like a video flip book where they explain their booklet and the Constitution that it explains. For this section, I asked the students to create a QR code. If they're doing a paper version, the QR code will be pasted to the front of their booklet or within the front page. If they are not doing a paper version and doing an electronic version, we'll make a display page for that student or for that group, and we'll put the QR code on that page to display so that viewers, visitors, whatever, can, classmates, if we do a gallery walk for this maybe as a separate or associated assignment, viewers can scan the QR code and get a link to that additional media. Another idea for extra credit or for an additional or added assignment, added component to this is that have students create a Bill of Rights poster where basically they make an enlarged version of one of the Bill of Rights pages they did here for the project. Then we can add a QR code for that where students video themselves explaining why that amendment was added to the Constitution, addressing a grievance in the Declaration, addressing an issue going on in the country at that time, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a rubric for this assignment, breaking it down into points for each section, each item within the booklet, including the extra credit, area for comments, and the final grade. Again, this is just a great way to teach students and others and give them a basic understanding of the U.S. Constitution. And it's just an assignment that students typically enjoy doing.